Good evening and welcome to 11th episode of Your Questions and Dr. Lamba's response. Well, today we have three questioners but four questions. And I'll take up those questions as they came. The first is from Khalifa Hassan. Khalifa Hassan is a resident of Karachi, Pakistan, and his question relates to Pakistan. And he writes, why has Ambassador Malia been replaced by Mr. Munir Akram? Well, Mr. Hassan, the change of the ambassadors, wherever they may be, they might be to a country or they might be to United Nations, is not something written in stone. It is at the will of the government who goes where. Munir Akram had a bad reputation. As a matter of fact, he was recalled to Pakistan because of the case against him of domestic violence. And had he remained there, quite possible he would have been declared persona non grata and thrown out. So discretion was the better part of valor. And they called him back. But then the dispute between the wife and the husband got settled. And Pakistan government thinks that now he can go back. You never know it. The Attorney General of New York, if it was a Prince Brara type of person, he would still prosecute. He had handcuffed Indian Consul General, don't forget that. So it depends on the person who is there as Attorney General in New York. But coming to your major question, this change of Malia immediately after the return of the Prime Minister from New York is significant because it denotes two things. First, according to their understanding, President Imran Khan's trip was a failure. And the cause of this failure was naturally the person on the spot, Ambassador Malia. The government possibly feels that she could not generate enough enthusiasm. Pakistan has a tendency to equate everything which India does. If President Trump went there, they say, well, it was because of the capability of the diplomatic staff. They forget it's not that. Things happen. And despite the best efforts of the diplomatic staff, sometimes you cannot be successful. Naturally, the tone of the speech of Imran Khan was provocative. It was more a sort of a rant than a statesman speaking in an assembly of the world leaders. It was immature. I won't call it boorish, but it was definitely not in good taste. So the people didn't like it. At least it goes to the credit of Malia that she had arranged about 8 people I saw on the TV sitting on seats who were clapping very vigorously whenever Imran made a point against India. But when Trump asked one of the press correspondents, from where have you come? And then asked Imran, from where do you get these people? That was something which is not acceptable. And naturally, it is the person on the spot who gets nailed. Here in this case, Malia, who is a competent ambassador. Let me not deny it. She was ambassador to USA. She was earlier ambassador to United Nations. She has been there for a long time. Almost 2 decades she has been in New York and in Washington. And she knows all the people practically, and all the people know her. She has very good equation with the State Department. And yet, because Imran Khan did not have the sort of reception that Modi had, he got annoyed. And the first thing he did was, after giving a provocative speech at the Karachi airport, then saying that Malia has to be given the sack. He forgot one thing. That day he sacked Malia and replaced her with Munir Akram, the same day she was elected vice chair of the Economic Council of the United Nations. This goes in her favor and speaks volume for her capability. And again, let me tell you, Malia is one of the most competent diplomats that Pakistan has. She doesn't compare with Zafrullah Khan, who was a great leader, a great diplomat, a great foreign minister. But she is quite competent. Munir Akram may not have that success which Malia had. But then, as they say, it is the boss who says, and the boss, Imran Khan, wants Malia to go, so she goes. The second question is by Simarjit Singh. Simarjit Singh is from Ludhiana in Punjab, and he has asked two questions. First question he has asked is the importance of the referendum 2020, and the second he has asked for the impact of NRC, National Register of Citizens. Well, Simarjit, the first question you have asked about referendum 2020, this is one of the most idiotic, stupid actions being taken by some Sikhs. Some fundamentalists, mostly in Canada and in England. There are not many in Punjab. But these people need to keep things stirred up for their selfish purposes. They try to raise a question in UNO, they failed. They filed suits against the Indian government, they failed. Even this time, they failed to make any impact in Howdy Modi episode. In that meet, they couldn't make any impact at all. So they had last year, a couple of years back, thought, okay, we'll have a referendum to show that all the Sikhs want separate homeland. The point is, there is this supposed Khalistan to be. Is it going to be in Yukon or Northwestern Territories? Is it going to be in one of the islands of England? Where? They naturally say in Punjab in India. If it's to be in Punjab, then the people of Punjab are supposed to vote, not the people who are living in Canada or USA or England or anywhere else. And since most of the voters here are going to be that tribe which inhabits these countries, the Western countries, they have no stake. Whether Khalsa becomes or not, they won't lose anything except the leaders who have to line their own pockets. So this referendum is waste of energy, but it's a good exercise to mislead innocent people. Secondly, referendums are held by governments because they have some validity. Referendum is something which has to be accepted. Here, the government is not conducting it, organizing it. Government is not recognizing it. I mean, the government of India. Even the government of Canada is not going to be party to it. The government of UK is not going to be party to it. So it's a private people. They had approached UNO to oversee the referendum, and UNO did not accept it. So there is no official validity. At the most, if you want to be very courteous, you can call it an opinion poll. They are seeking the opinion of the people who are not living in Punjab, but are living in Canada and USA and UK. Okay, it's an opinion poll of the people living outside Punjab, outside India, to decide whether Khalsa should be there or not. an absolutely daydream, an absolutely futile exercise which has no validity and which should not have been accepted. As a matter of fact, even the name, as I said, referendum, is wrong because no official body is organizing it. And since it's the private people who are doing it, they can put all the yeses. But then if they put all the yeses and 100% people say that they want Khalistan, they're not in Punjab. They're not the voters here. So why all this noise, the sound bites, they have no meaning. As I said, it's an attempt only to misguide and mislead Sikhs. And the sooner they stop this nonsense, the better it would be for them and for the community. This is creating a divide. This will make even innocent people look down upon. They'll be suspected. They don't want to Khalistan, but they'll be branded as sympathizers. Especially so if they vote. The second question that Simarjit has asked is importance of NRC, National Register of Citizens. You see, normally in every country, citizenship is given. When a child is born, his citizen documents are prepared. And automatically, when the child is born in that country, he becomes a citizen. Or when you immigrate after you have fulfilled the minimum qualifications, you become a citizen. So you have a register which is maintained. India, unfortunately, never had a register. So the Supreme Court said, because there were not many illegal immigrants in Assam, and Assamese were very annoyed that this is the Bengalis and Biharis and people coming over there, and they're not even Indians, some of them. So they wanted some sort of a regulation. They approached the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court directed that NRC should be maintained. And the whole exercise has been undertaken under Supreme Court's direction. The register should be there. Now, 19 million people have been identified in that area who are not citizens. But then government is not throwing all of them out. They'll be given another chance to prove that they are citizens. I fully admit that there can be quite errors. There have been cases, when one person who was an army officer was declared to be non-citizen because he had no proof that even he was born there. And in India, there are no birth certificates. The system was not there in the old days. Now it's there. So the whole thing has to be seen from that perspective. The purpose is that the illegals should be weeded out. Now, the program has been successfully implemented in Assam, but 19 million are not going to be thrown out. They'll be given another chance. Now, the government of Haryana wants it, that there are people who may not be citizens of the country. No, it's not a citizen of the state. Now, let me tell you very frankly. It is citizen of the country. If they can prove that their grandfather, their father, they were born there, give some evidence. And the government says if they can even provide an evidence that they have been there for a long time and their fathers came, basically you have to show that you were there at the time of independence. Or you were born there after independence. If you can prove it, you are citizen. So now this exercise, according to the latest report, is going to be done in West Bengal, because most of the Bangladeshis come from there, and a lot of Rohingyas have come in there. And Rohingyas are basically, shall I say, misled or tutored by ISIS. So they can be a danger. They might become the fifth column in India. So NRC is not a bad idea, but then there are always problems in everything. So the Best action the government can do is to remove the loopholes, but not remove the NRC. When you give a bath to a baby, you throw dirty water. You don't throw out the baby with the water. So it's here. Don't throw the system. Don't throw NRC. Remove the issues that are troubling. Remove the loopholes. See that the fault lines are not there. So Simajit, I hope your questions are answered to your entire satisfaction. And the third questioner, and the fourth question is from Surjit Sundaraj from Vellore. She asks, what is the best way, most apt way to celebrate 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi? This year, there's a lot of noise, lot of celebration. You pick up any newspaper and the people are writing about Mahatma Gandhi's 150th anniversary. How is it different from 149th anniversary? Or how is it going to be different from 151st anniversary? I don't know. But since the government and the people feel that 150th anniversary is something special, 1.5 century has gone since the man was born. But then, honestly speaking, you always honor a person more by following his principles. And some of the principles of Mahatma Gandhi, despite all the capability that he had, are absolutely not acceptable. But his two ideas were great. One was that the cottage industry should be encouraged and Swadeshi should be encouraged. So that's a great idea. Secondly, the concept that he wanted was not GDP but GDX, gross domestic happiness, what Bhutan has done. Now he prescribed two principles for that. He depended mostly on Gita. And the two principles that he had were Sanjam and Niyam. Niyam is discipline. Sanjam is self-control. These two principles, if the nation can adopt, the politicians can adopt. I was just reading today that the Chief Minister of Haryana, Khattar, had 8.4 lakh worth of assets 5 years back. In 5 years, he has converted that 8 lakhs into 84 lakhs. How? I have yet to come across any business except corruption. So that is what we require: sanjam, self-control, and we need discipline. And if the country can develop that, that will be the most appropriate way to honor Mahatma Gandhi. So these were the questions to raise. I hope that next time there'll be more questions. And if the questions continue to be 3 or 4, well, that's not very encouraging. Anyway, thank you. Good night. And we see you in the same time on Tuesday. Thank you. Sorry, on Friday. So we see second time on Friday. Thank you. Have a great time. Bye.